So all the talk is about Neymar these days. Is he on his way to Real Madrid in the next year or so? So let's take a look at the starting 11 from his Barcelona debut, a 7-0 win over Levante in August 2013. Victor Valdes. Victor Valdes has probably spent the last few years reviewing how he makes life decisions. The 36-year-old has spent his entire career at Barcelona, winning every piece of silverware under the sun, despite not getting within a pig's whisker of the national team. And then in 2014 he decided that he got bored of winning all the time. To be fair, he could have just set up a deck chair in his own box during half the games in La Liga, and so rejected a new contract, tore his anterior cruciate ligament, which effectively destroyed that pre-contract agreement with Monaco. So he eventually ended up at Man United, barely featured before finishing his career getting relegated into the Championship with Middlesbrough. In the space of 2 years, that man went from Lionel Messi to Patrick Bamford. DANI ALVES. DANI ALVES is an example of a man who must really take his Weetabix every morning, considering the level of performances he still puts in at 35 years of age. Eventually calling it a day at Barca after 8 years in 2016, he then went and signed for Juventus, and in one season came within a Cristiano Ronaldo masterclass of the treble. He's currently part of the Brazilian clique at PSG in a league that they could probably win blindfolded. Gerard Piqué, one of the sole survivors. Gerard Piqué is a man with Barcelona DNA ingrained in him, and aside from a sticky 4-year breakup when he went slumming in the northwest of England, it's been a fruitful marriage. He's still lifting titles with Barcelona, screwing up his own club's transfer plans, and no doubt has to stick earplugs in whenever his wife starts singing in the shower. Javier MASCHERANO. At the age of 34, Javier MASCHERANO has finally left the Nou Camp after 8 years, instead choosing to dive headfirst into the mountain of riches that is the Chinese Super League. He is choosing to swap guaranteed Champions League football every season for the tactics of a man who just sank a club into League One. Who would have thought back when Mascherano and Tevez first arrived at West Ham all those years ago with cash spilling out of their ears that they'd one day end up sacrificing success for money later on in their careers? Probably everyone. Adriano. No, not the former Inter Milan striker who ended up hitting the Doritos like there was diamonds at the bottom. This is Adriano, the Brazilian left back. He left Barcelona after 6 years in 2016 and at the age of 33 currently plays for Besiktas. Pepe, Ricardo Quaresma, Ryan Babel, Alvaro Negredo, German Lenz. That club is effectively the rubbish dump for unwanted products. Sergio Busquets. A man who will probably never leave Barcelona until the day he dies. Mind you, I thought that about XAVI and Iniesta before they sold their souls to Asia. Sergio Busquets, probably the finest holding midfielder of his generation, is now 30 and still doing exactly what he's been doing for the last 10 years. XAVI. It's weird looking at Xavi's CV. From 1991 to 2015, he was a part of Barcelona, has nearly 800 appearances, 8 league titles, 3 Copa del Reys and 4 Champions Leagues. That's not to mention the 3 international tournaments. Now he's a 38-year-old currently plying his trade at Al Sadd in Qatar. At least his pockets are healthier. CESC FABREGAS. CESC FABREGAS probably has a love-hate relationship with Barcelona. Yes, they were his boyhood club, but they've let him escape to London twice without much of a fight. Returning to 2011 from Arsenal, Fabregas must have thought, this is it. I'm finally going to retire at the club of my dreams. No, sorry CESC, as good as you are, you're not better than XAVI or Iniesta, and so he was promptly dumped back in England, via Chelsea, much to Arsenal's disgust 3 years later. He's since won 2 Premier Leagues, an FA Cup and a League Cup, far more than that singular FA Cup medal from his 7 seasons in the Gunners' first team, and even then he was lucky to get it. Pedro. Another player spat out to Chelsea. Pedro was another La Masia product, and to be fair, he did really well at the Nou Camp. 99 goals and 321 appearances. He was reportedly inches away from signing for Man United in 2015. Didn't happen, and he's since spent the last 3 seasons flattering to deceive at Stamford Bridge. Lionel Messi. Since Neymar's debut alone, he's won 3 league titles, 4 Copa del Reys, a Champions League and a Ballon d'Or, scored 239 goals, played in a World Cup final. Let's not talk about this World Cup. Truly great player. ALEXIS SANCHEZ. ALEXIS SANCHEZ had to make way for Neymar in this game, quite symbolic of what would end up happening. The Brazilian had effectively shoved the Chilean out of the club. Despite the forward's undoubted brilliance, the man seemed determined to stay, firing home 21 goals that season, including a delicately improvised chip against Real Madrid. But no, he was a £31 million signing for Arsenal in 2014, and then became the world's biggest snake by pulling a Robin van Persie and signing for Manchester United. The man takes home something like £500,000 a week. He's going to be 30 in December. That is quite simply insane.